Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video by Claudia from We're Just Two Sisters. I wanted to just give you a quick little walkthrough of this custom journal that I just completed. It actually will not be for sale on Etsy because it was made very specifically for a customer who wanted something pretty special. And I just think it came out wonderful. I'm very proud of it. And I think that she will love it as much as I loved making it. It's an African American theme. On the cover, it has a vintage photograph that I've sewn in to another piece of paper here that then is embellishing the front with these really cool buttons that I painted and antiqued. It has these little purple or lilac flowers. And my favorite part of this is what I've done with the spine. Hopefully you can see that really well, but they are little dangles and they're little flowers that are lilac, and they adorn the spine, which is covered with some very vintage lace. On the back is yet another really beautiful photograph. Again, the same antiqued button, and it is sewn on both the outer edge and the inner edge with some quilting as well that goes underneath the photograph, some batting that gives it kind of that vintage puffy quilted look. So it's, as you can see, it's very chubby and fat, which means, of course, that it is filled with all kinds of goodness, and it is held together with this beautiful purple ribbon. The purple ribbon goes all the way around underneath the embellishments, so it's very strong and very sturdy and will last a lifetime. Let's open her up and take a quick walkthrough. So this has over 200 pages, which has a lot of embellishments as well as an abundance of blank pages. The blank pages are made up of art papers. They're made up of my own coffee and tea dyed, stencil dyed papers. There's also some very vintage art paper and some stationery. But I'm going to walk you kind of through this. It has a tremendous amount of writing space, and it also has a significant number of embellishments, cards, tags, tablets, and so forth. This is a beautiful little pocket on the inside cover that has this picture. This lady just really makes me smile, and she has like amazing teeth. And so this is very kind of 20s, 1920s. And you'll find that this journal has an array of photographs and ephemera from a lot of different eras. I wanted to kind of give it a fairly large variety. This has this cool little embellishment here, which is a button, a closure. This paper I thought was extremely, extremely beautiful. This lady who asked me to make this journal for her, her favorite colors are purples and lilacs. So I tried to incorporate a lot of those colors. Here's an example of my own coffee dyed, stencil dyed papers. Again, lots of white paper. Here's a really cool photograph that I've embossed. Hopefully you can see the embossing on this. And then it has this corner pocket with rivets and these two calling cards about a clothier and a furrier. I thought those were really cool. Those can just go inside that pocket. Again, lots and lots of blank pages where she can actually go and embellish them herself, create her own style of decorating and embellishing pages. This one has a pocket here that she could put something in. This has a side pocket. I've actually included a cool little tag here. This tag has this silhouette, and I've cloaked her in this very sheer piece of material. She just can slide right down in there like that. Lots of writing space again, lots of journaling, more of the coffee dyed paper using, this was actually using lace as a stencil. Hopefully you can kind of see the pattern on that. And this is one of my favorite new things that I've been making. They're these round pockets with the buttons and the little embellishments. And then this is a very cool photograph that I've cut out round and then embellished the edges of it with some silver stenciling, or actually, what is it called? Silver etching. And I found actually a little jar of that at one of my local thrift stores. And I thought, I could find a use for that. It's like gold leafing, but it's silver. Here's another little pocket. This pocket has 1, 2, 3, 4 places, and it's just filled with fun ephemera and little pieces, tidbits for preventing hysterics. Here's a little recipe for something called Sally Loons, courtesy of the Ladies' Country Companion in 1845. And those can just slide right down in this pocket. This pocket has this cool piece of ephemera, which I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's all in Italian. And then in here, there are several little pieces, everything from little cutouts to advertisements and so forth. There's 2 more in here. And as you'll notice, there's a lot of lace in this one, and it's all sewn in, so it's not going to come loose. And you'll find that some of the pages actually have the stitching on the other side, which I like it. I think it really adds kind of a texture and an element that's very unique and very vintage looking. I really love this pocket. So this is what I call a photo pocket. Has this great group of women here that all look like they're having a wonderful time. I don't know if it's a family reunion or a high school reunion or just a gathering of friends, but I just love that picture. Has this really pretty gold embellishment here. And then this is an advertising cover of an old magazine that I thought was super interesting from the 40s. And that just slides right down in here. And I've embellished the top of this one with a floral cutout. Again, lots of places to write, lots of places to create your own embellishments. And I think a lot of the ones that I've included in this journal will inspire her to create some of her own. So this is a pocket here with this awesome, really old photograph. And this is an envelope. The envelope opens and it has a space to add whatever you would like. There's some embossing on this. There's a saying, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in every dirty dirt, but still, like dust, I rise." You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. That's one of my extremely favorite poems. In fact, Maya Angelou is one of my very favorite authors. I think I own pretty much every book she's ever written, both poetry and others. And I just really enjoy her writing. She's very much missed in our world. Again, lots of lilac and purple paper. This is the center of that first signature. This book has 3 signatures. You can see on the top, if I show you, it has 3 signatures. So we're at the center of the first signature. This has a lovely pocket with several tags. There's this little boy tag. Here's another one that has a wonderful little picture. And then a pocket with a little tag that says, "Beauty is power, a smile is its sword." Like the vintage look of these. And then this bottom pocket has this great little postcard, if you will, of the Moulin Rouge. One of my favorite places. I just went and saw that play, the musical, and it was absolutely spectacular, spectacular. This has a little tablet in it. If you open the tablet, it has just 2 pages for you to write in. And I think she'll really enjoy that. Again, more of the little buttons that I love to make and lots of pages. Here's a tablet that is glued in to this page. So There's quite a bit of writing space here. You know, just a nice place. And this is tied together, so it's, you know, it has a little bit of wiggle room, but that makes it easier to write on. Again, lots of blank space. I love this page here with this vintage photo with some very vintage cloth and doily material with the little purple ribbon. I loved this page too. This golfer just really spoke to me. I really thought this was an extremely cool illustration. Hopefully you can see that okay. Get a little more light there and see if that helps. A little bit of a glare, but oh well. Again, places to write, places to embellish, tea-dyed, coffee-dyed papers. This was done with a stencil. Came out really nice. This is my favorite page in the book. So I found this old advertisement for Nadine's Original. Nadine, I looked it up actually on Google, and Nadine was a very famous dressmaker, Nadine Knight, in New York on 1150 Northwestern Avenue. And so I actually cut out a dress from a Victorian catalog that I had, and I went ahead and embellished the dress, just kind of imagining if Nadine was going to make a dress for a princess, you know, what that might look like. So, you know, all of this is, you know, very well attached, but it just gives it some texture and some depth that I thought was so pretty, and I really enjoyed making it. There's another page that has a pocket for tucking in those special things. And I loved this stationery with like the princess slipper. This is one of my favorite pockets. This pocket has two embellishments, has some buttons. It has a pocket down here that has the little rivets. This is a little portfolio. If you open it up again, it has 2 pages that you can write on. It has a really great front here. Love has nothing to do with what you are expecting to get. It's what you are expected to give, which is everything. I thought that was really cool. And then above this really great vintage photograph is another pocket. This pocket has a actual tablet. The tablet has about 10 pages on both sides, which makes for a fun little memory book where she can just, you know, write a story or write down something that strikes her as something she wants to be separate from other journal pages. This is actually something I include in pretty much all of my chunky journals. It is called a writing pad. So, for example, if you wanted to write on this page, but here there's a lot of bumpy stuff. So if you were to start to write here, you would struggle because the pen or the pencil would hit those bumpy parts. Well, you just take your writing pad, put it behind the page that you want to write on, and then it becomes a very flat, very usable surface that you don't have to worry about, you know, slipping with your pen. And I like to keep the writing pad in between one of the signatures. It just fits really nice in there, and it's easy to find. And there's one side that's perfectly flat, and this is chipboard, so it's, you know, very hard and not something that will bend. And then on the other side, I've kind of made this look like an old vintage envelope. So this is the side you'll want to write on. And again, that can just slip down and stay right in there. Here's a pocket that has a lovely photograph that is embellished with this photo frame. It has 2 little cards in it, business cards, if you will. And those are kind of French inspired. I thought they looked really nice in that little pocket. Lots of papers, lots of sewing in this one. I've sewn the edge of this little pocket. And in this pocket is yet another one of my homemade envelopes, embellished envelopes. And this one is, you know, very French, very country, if you will. And if you open it up, it has, again, the envelope space has a piece of a French dictionary, some very vintage tear outs, And on the back is left blank purposely so that you or she can actually embellish that herself. Add her own special touches. Another pocket, you know, with 4 pockets. This has a potpourri recipe. It also contains a little tag and some theater tickets, a little round tag that I thought was really cute. And just, you know, ephemera, things that remind you of a past time or a wonderful adventure that you may have had. And again, blank pages. And I love to do this messy stitch sometimes. I loosen the tension on my sewing machine so that I can have what I call this messy stitch that to me just looks very vintage and very old-fashioned and almost like it was hand-stitched. And this lovely lady in pink and purples here with her glasses. This has some embossing here, both embossing on the pocket and on the corner of the photograph. And it has these 3 lovely little tags inside. And most of the things that I include in my journals are things that, you know, inspire you to give some thought to the things that you want to include in your journal. It could be theater tickets. It could be stubs from the movies. It could be bus tickets or an airline ticket or, you know, just souvenirs or memorabilia from experiences that you've had that you want to save for future generations. And I love this picture, and I've angled this on purpose and just love that the way that it came out on there. She's such a lovely little girl. Here's the center of the second signature with a little photograph that's sewn on, and I've embellished this with a wax seal with the letter C on it. The new owner of this journal, her name starts with C, like mine. And so I thought, what a great opportunity to use my wax seal for someone who has the same initial. This next page is traceable calligraphy or traceable handwriting. And it also has a pouch here. There's a pouch that goes all the way through that you could hide something wonderful or just tuck something up in there that you don't want to get folded or misplaced. Again, here's some of the paper that I love to echo dye or coffee dye. This one actually was a combination of coffee dyeing and rust. So I had a bunch of rusty letters that I put in this batch, and I was really pleased with the way this paper came out. And you could probably hear it, but it's quite crinkly and but it's sturdy. It's you know, it's going to tear if you tear it, but under normal wear and tear, it's going to be just fine. And then this is embossed with letters and has a tag with this awesome, extremely vintage photograph. The back matches the background of the pocket itself. It has a lovely little lavender tag there. This lovely lady is adorned with several little pieces that fit into this embossed side pocket. There are rivets here, 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 and here, and then along the top with this lovely silk lavender bow and some doily, paper doily here. This one has quite a few little embellishments of seed packets. There's a dress form, new strawberry lady rusk, the best berry for long-distance shipments. I'm not even really sure what that means. Huntsville Wholesale Nurseries. And then this is folded over to a combination service wrench. Just a little folio there. And then this one is Faye Current Headquarters Grapes. Thought she looked like she probably liked some wine. I know I do. So I thought the grapes and the strawberries were a good combination there. And this is actually attached to this page. So I liked the tear of the the vellum here. It kind of gives it a nice edge and a nice sound too. Again, lots of papers to write on. This is a lovely page. I really enjoyed making this page. It has 3 pockets. Each pocket has a tag. This one says she was wishing. This one says the happiest moment. And this one says my heart is full. And then in this pocket here, there is a very old, very vintage Valentine that I decided to adorn this journal with. It was kind of hard for me to part with this, but I thought, it just goes with this one. And I've really grown fond of the new owner of this one in our communications, so I wanted her to have this. It's a St. Valentine's Day card from, gosh, I'm going to say the very early 1900s. So I've slipped that right down into this little pocket. And then here on this corner pocket, I've added some ephemera, an old memorandum, a little tag, and a bus ticket. Here's a embossed tablet that I've just sewn on to this page. Just a really nice piece of paper that, there's 2 of them there, that is something that you could write a poem on, or a special saying, or just some thoughts that you want to record. This one has a little corner pocket. Again, lots of pages for sketching, for poetry, for art, for whatever. And this is an example of coffee dyeing the paper with using the rusty letters. That's kind of how that comes out. This is a really cool page. I loved this picture. And it has a combination of some vintage papers, some vellum, some rivets. This is a die cut that I have that kind of punches out that frame. It also has some paper doily there that's been inked and aged. I just thought she was absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to make it even more lavenders and purples than it already was. So I took a stencil and painted some stenciling here. This has some really beautiful lace, pink lace, that's sewn onto the edge. This lovely purple satin bow and some vintage lace here at the top. I've also embellished her necklace with an actual rhinestone. Hopefully you can see that. It also has some old book pages, not very many, maybe 1 or 2. And then this is a piece of crocheted jute that actually was a bookmark that I found at one of the little thrift stores. And because it was purple, I thought, I'll find a use for that for sure. This is a belly band. Inside this belly band is this lovely little tablet, Peter Connolly, Marian Anderson, San Francisco Opera House. Friday evening, February 25th, 1938 at 8:30 p.m. Would have loved to have been there. It has a tablet inside for writing, and it also has this lovely photograph that just goes into this corner pocket inside the tablet. This tablet just slips right down into this belly band, and it holds it nice and in place. So this is a fairly large pocket that you could put lots of different things. I've included this really pretty little tablet that I made. You might have recognized this paper from one of the other little tablets, but you open this up and it's a little portfolio. It has a tablet on the inside that slides right down into that slot. And then it also has another little V pocket there, a little side pocket that has this little folded card in it. Lots of place for other things, and you can just slip this little ribbon back over that and tuck that right down in here. I like to have the ribbon hang over the edge a little bit. Here's a little envelope. This one has a little, what they call a string and button closure. So you open that up and there's an envelope here that you could add things to and just hide, you know, really cool like memorabilia. This is kind of a circular design, so this just wraps around any way that you'd like it to, and it can just hang down with its little doodad there. More writing space. I especially liked this card, this paper with the postcard header. This is what's called a cluster band that I made and sewed together and then glued it onto the page. Another frame, very vintage photograph book that I used to put around this lovely photograph, and I've added this really pretty kind of amber little necklace charm on that to that one. We're almost through this. Again, this is done with leaves. And then on this side, there's a pocket. I like this lady is just basically sitting in a teapot or a teacup. And inside this pocket is a vintage postcard of the Wells Cathedral in Somerset. Looks like a place where you would have a nice cup of tea. This is one of my favorite pages. So this is a 3-pocket pocket. And in this 3-pocket pocket, I have chosen things that I think depict friendship. So there's movie tickets, bus tickets, the little sayings on each of the each of the photographs cards. This one says, "We are ladies traveling alone." I know I've had some incredible journeys with lady friends that we've taken trips together. This one says, "A faithful friend." And aren't they lovely? A day at the beach. And this one says, "For precious friends." A little more vintage, a little more old-fashioned. And that one just slides right down in here. And then this one is actually glued onto the bottom pocket with the friends. And it says, "It seems that she is always there." And isn't that the truth with a true friend? And then down here, there's a tag across here that just says friendship. And I'm sure there's lots of stories to be written about friends. And as with all of my journals, somewhere within them you will find a window. This little window has this adorable little girl that's looking out through the panes of glass. Or maybe we're looking out at her. With this leaf and some really pretty little pearls. This is a corner embellishment that has a butterfly here that is a wax seal. And this little clip here, which is glued on behind this piece here, holds this lovely little tablet. Lots of writing space in this one. And it can just clip, or other things can just clip right onto there. More writing space. Kind of flip through here. Lots of more writing space. Here's another place to actually make a tuck. You can add things and decorate that page however she would like. Getting towards the end here is the final back cover. I've not put anything on this back cover. I just really love the way that it's already decorated. But here I've added this pocket with this really lovely vintage handkerchief. And then this lady who looks like she is a horse person with a couple of very vintage replicas of postcards and in this little corner pocket. And then, as I said, on the back is embellished and finished very similar to the front with this vintage photograph that's padded. But there she is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I apologize for it being so long, but it's a big one. And I hope to the new owner of this journal that you cherish it for many, many years to come. And I hope that you love it as much as I loved making it for you. So thanks again for your time, and come back. I've got a couple of additional African American journals that I'm working on right now, in addition to a lot of Christmas stuff. So don't forget to check out our Etsy store because there's always new things happening. And that's www.we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com. Thank you so much.